Hello and welcome to the Hutchinson Art Center's virtual art camp. My name is Kara Vaughn, and before we begin, myself and the Hutchinson Art Center want to thank the Hutchinson Community Foundation and the United Way of Reno County's Rally Reno Nonprofit Response Fund for financially supporting this project. For today's virtual art camp, we are going to be making a memory game. What you will need is some hot glue, a ruler, pencils, markers of your choice, and some flat back charm pieces. And you'll want to make sure that you get a pack that has either 2 or get 2 packs so you can have your matching pieces. And you'll also want some felt from a local craft store. If you are a younger creator, I advise that you have an adult help you with the hot glue gun just because it can get super hot and I really want to avoid any injuries that could happen with the hot glue gun. So if you need an adult to help you, be sure to ask. So for this project, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and measure out 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch squares on the felt. So I'm going to start on one corner and measure. Right here is the 1.5 inch mark, and so I mark it and then I use my ruler to use a straight edge to go ahead and create that line, and then I do the same thing on the other side, and then at the end I'm going to go ahead and keep doing this across and I should have a bunch of squares in a grid. Okay, since I have 12 of the flat back charm pieces, I went ahead and doubled that number, so I have at least 24 boxes because I want to stack them up and have a better support on them, especially if I'm going to be coloring on them with marker. If any of that marker bleeds through, I can have a protective piece over it so that way I avoid any cheating in the game. So you wouldn't be able to identify the ones that are underneath just on the markings on the outside. So once you have your squares all lined up, go ahead and cut them out. Before I glue the animals on, I do want to go ahead and add my designs onto these pieces of felt. And so I could either do like polka dots or I can make it look stitched. You could even stitch the two together when you're done. I don't really do much with sewing, so I'm just going to draw my designs on, and it could honestly be anything you want. I think I'm going to do a mixture of everything just so you could see kind of what that would look like. Okay, now that I have all of the designs on these felt squares, if you notice, I used my alcohol markers for this and it did bleed through pretty good. And so that is why I did want to have this extra piece of felt so that way it covers up what has bled through. So I'm going to first start out by go ahead and pairing these up so then I can go ahead and match my animals on and hot glue them to the center of these square pieces. Okay, and now for the backs. Go ahead and just start gluing on some backs and making sure that they are as centered as can be onto your piece, and then when you're done gluing, you can go through and trim up the edges so then they are all nice and consistent with each other. See how some is overlapping here on the bottom of this one? Whenever I glue it on, I'm going to go ahead and trim up the edges on that. So I went ahead and glued on the black pieces, and I trimmed around the edges so they are all consistent. And so it's not obvious if there's one that's kind of sticking out on one end, and then you'd be able to tell what it is. But the thing about this is that they do kind of stick up just because they are 3D pieces. But it is a fun little matching game. Maybe if you're in the car. Oh, look, I already got a match. If you're in the car, or if you're just waiting for dinner to be ready. It's a fun little matching game that you can just take wherever. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you tried it out. I would like to see what you come up with. And there are other charms that you could use instead of the animals. They have, where I got them at Hobby Lobby, they also have like donuts or colored sunglasses, other things that you can match together too. But show your support and like this video, and thank you for watching.